so groß. La 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 la. Heute ist so ein schöner Tag.
Hello and welcome to the Shoreham View. This is The Other Side, and we've got a guest from a Hull City podcast to Hull and back. Goes by the name of Ant. Ant, how are you doing, mate?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. You?
I'm not too bad at all. Itching for some football. It seems like years since season finished now.
It does, yeah.
So, looking at Hull and season you've just had, obviously promotion, lovely stuff. What are your feelings on how things went?
Last season, strangely, a lot better than I expected us to. I think we got, obviously, it's no secret that the season before, the last half of the year, where we got like 6 points from 60 or something and finished bottom, it wasn't brilliant. So optimism around the club as a whole, players, fans, everything, I think we're probably all sucked into this little vortex of negativity. I mean, personally, I've said on my own podcast that, you know, at the beginning of the season, I predicted us to be lower mid-table, or, you know, even possibly even in another relegation battle. So no, yeah, credit to Grant McCann for doing something that a lot of us didn't think he would do. He recruited well in summer. We've got a lot of good League One experienced players like Sir Richie Smallwood, Greg Docherty, Louis Coyle, you know, recruited well. And yeah, we just kicked on and got better and better as the season went on, to win the title from maybe a few weeks before that, where we'd lost 1-0 home to Ipswich after a bad run where we weren't even creating chances. A lot of us thought maybe playoffs at most, but yeah, credit to him for finishing the season so strongly. It was a very good season. So
you mentioned there about Grant McCann, how well he did. So tell us a bit more about Grant McCann and the type of football he gets Hull to play.
Yeah, it's strange really, because, well, for a definite, he is very stubborn. So we will play one way. The first season, we kind of, I think, you know, in his championship year, we relied so heavily on Jared Bowen and Kamil Grosicki for 2 or 3 years that we didn't know how to score any other way. So once we lost both of them in the same window, the whole squad just kind of, I don't know, we didn't know what to do. So he kept playing the same way, which maybe was justifiably a way to criticise him, you know, because maybe you need to switch it up when it's not working, and you got to play to the players you've got. And he didn't do that, and that was a bit of a sore subject for a while. But in League One, it's now clear to see the way that he wanted us to play and what he was trying to do, but he just didn't have the personnel for it. You know, there's a whole club ethos at the moment, and we've got to play this specific way. You know, the academy are taught this same way, and they're trying to incorporate it into everything we do, and it has worked. So he likes to play out from the back. He needs his back four to be comfortable on the ball. You know, we've got a lot of energy in midfield. You know, the likes of Docherty and Honeyman will be bombing on forward and backwards. They'll come get the ball and pull us forwards. We play quite an inside forward style way. So, you know, the likes of Malik Wilkes, Keane Lewis Potter, they like to run in behind. They'll get the ball, they'll cut inside and shoot. And then you've got your big Josh McGuinness up top, who just holds the ball up and brings other players into the game. So, yeah, we've shown as the year's gone on that this style works. You know, he's got the personnel that fits the system. We have one midfielder that roams in the middle and protects the back four. The wing backs like to bomb on, which leaves us exposed, but normally like the defence covers that. So we play an open way, but it goes a lot of goals. So yeah, it's working.
Looking at the squad as it is at the moment, I know the transfer window hasn't really kicked off as much as it will do. But looking at the squad you've got on paper, who's your star man at the moment?
I don't know. George Honeyman obviously won pretty much every Player of the Year award he could possibly get last season. So as it stands, probably still him. We've got a very young team. So you've got the likes of Keane Lewis Potter and Malik Wilkes, Jacob Greaves at centre-back, who's been outstanding. Got a lot of players who you would only assume are going to get better this season. But yeah, Honeyman probably, or Malik Wilkes. You know, he scored a lot of goals, got a lot of assists. But Honeyman's set pieces and his dynamism in the midfield. He'll come back, he'll win the ball. We just don't create nowhere near as many chances if Honeyman doesn't play. So, you know, I would probably say to nullify our threat, you need to nullify Honeyman. Because even his set pieces, you know, if you're giving away fouls on the regular, it's more than likely going to score. Because I think we scored something like 10 more set pieces than any other team in League One last season or something. So right. He's just been outstanding.
Where do you think you need to strengthen? In which positions, which areas in particular?
We've actually just, if you'd have asked me this a couple of weeks ago, it'd have been a very different answer. We've just got 3 very good players in Randell Williams, Andy Cannon and George Moncur, who are very versatile and play a number of positions across the midfield and front line. So I would probably say at the moment it would be a backup goalkeeper to Matt Ingram, because obviously we lost George Long to Millwall. And another defender for me, another centre-back. I know we've got Sean McLaughlin and Festus Arthur to be backups, but I much prefer Alfie Jones in the holding midfield role. I don't really want him to be a centre-back next season. Obviously, we lost Reece Burke. So I would say another centre-back to partner Jacob Greaves, I would imagine.
So, as I said earlier, the transfer window's not in full swing yet, but you have been quite busy getting players in. Has there been any in and out rumours? Any players looking to, like they could be bought off you, or any more that you're looking to bring in that's been touted in the press?
Not really. I mean, I know we all say about, how much we dislike the way the Lambs run the club and that, but if there's one thing that they do well, it is, batting off interest on players unless they get the value that they want. It's clear that they've said in a couple of interviews, Ehab did his own interview a few days ago, and he said, look, the whole aim is we're not going to sell anybody. So, I think our key 11, I don't think he's going to even entertain offers for unless there's something ridiculous. So rumours for going out, really, there isn't anything quite high. There's probably interest in the likes of Wilkes and Honeyman, and quite understandably so, because he had good seasons. But in terms of actual concrete offers or any significant interest in outgoings, not really. Incomings, we're expecting Jack Marriott. Obviously, he was at Derby. He's played under McCann at Peterborough before. We all thought that was going to be the signing yesterday, and it turned out to be Randall Williams. But McCann's a big fan of him. We tried to get him before, but now he's a free agent. Obviously, we can lure him in for free, and if that's 4 free signings that we've done at the beginning of the season, it'd be very astute business. So I would expect Jack Marriott either today or tomorrow, to be fair. And other than that, it's quite quiet. So this is a bit of a strange one, but if you could describe this current Hull side in 3 words, what 3 words would you choose? United, hungry, and young, probably. We've got a squad that seems to be much more of a cohesive unit than what was obviously a very fractured side the year before. We've got a lot of young local lads in the side that, you've got like Louis Coyle, Jacob Greaves, Keane Lewis Potter. They're all from Hull. So, their energy and passion to play for the team is going to be a bit higher. The youth of the side, Wilkes is young, Lewis Potter, Dockett is still early 20s, Greaves is very young. We've got a side that's just going to improve, and I think because they're so young and they've been thrown into the first team, their development's been sort of accelerated, which has led to this sort of bond in the team mixed with your more senior likes of, Josh McGuinness, Matt Ingram, who probably keeps everybody's heads on par. So we're a very exciting team, if I can add a 4th word on as well. With everything goes according to plan in the pre-season, you have a good pre-season, you're getting the players you want, you have the squad there that you would imagine is the strongest you can be. How do you see the season going for Hull? I actually went on the EFL show not that long ago, and I sort of put my head on the line because I said that we could be dark horses for a top 6. If I'm using my head, I would expect it to be comfortable, pushing 15th to mid-table kind of position. Yeah. I can't see us being in a relegation fight. I just think we've got too many goals in us. But it's one of these where I look at the championship and I think it's one of the most even championships that I've seen in a long time. You usually look at a division and you've got maybe one team that you go, they're going to win the league, they're getting relegated, they're a top 6 side. I can't do that with the league this year, and I think because it's so even, anywhere in the league is pretty much a possibility for anyone. So I would like to think that the momentum of winning the title and maybe a few more good, decent signings could push us on to maybe further McCann's vision of what he wants to the side and be shot contenders in the top half. So before we let you go, let us know a bit more about To Hull and Back and where we can find you on socials. So it was basically, obviously, when lockdown happened and football stopped, we all missed the football chatter. You miss going to football on a match day, going and talking about footy in the pub, whatever, before the game. And obviously that stopped. So me and my mate had just been pushing because we was going to do a mixed Yorkshire one, because we're in a banter group on Facebook with a few Yorkshire lads, but it was just too many people to organise. So me and Joel decided to start it up, and I needed a co-host because he wasn't too sold on the whole idea of being one of the people who speak. So I got me a long-time mate who I've attended City with for many years, Will, got him in, and we just basically, it was a way to talk about City, you know, and if people wanted to listen, they listened. So it started in December 2020. We've been going a year now. We're over 1,500 views, which is probably 1,500 more than we expected. We are on Twitter. It's at Hull_and_back. You'll find our tags on there as well if you wanted to see any of our personal tags. We're on Spotify mainly. We do it through Anchor. So we've got a link tree to all of our partners and sponsors and things like that. So if you want to have a look, do head over to our page and click the link tree.
And it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and look forward to seeing you at the Lane.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, mate.